Yes, darlings, getting you high in just the right way. As the old Grandpa Coyote comes out to play with all of you divine hearts in the Vibe Tribe today on this tremendous Tuesday. Breakthrough if you do, babies. Oh yeah, you're starting to catch on, dear, to how it really works here. Oh yeah, we're getting it clear here on the Hazy Radio Network with Grandpa Coyote at the helm, man. Talk about a wake-up call, y'all. Dancing around that fire of love. Oh my goodness, I just love the vision of, man. I see us liberated, set free in the dawning of the great day of right now and how, babies. And there ain't no way of stopping it, you see. They thought they could, well, I mean, this was the illusion, the 3D world. You know, and the controllers thought they could contain humanity by eliminating the competition through death, you know. And it just hasn't quite worked out that way because of the bigger picture. When you off these beings, you empower their spirit energy far more greatly than when it was in the human persona, where it was definitely in a limited form of expression, wouldn't you say, you see? But in that liberation, in that cruel act of, you know, creating someone's death, we recreated life. By allowing there to be a dastardly bastard like that back over 100 years ago, man. Well, we were talking about events around 80 years ago. As I figure it, I don't know. I'm kind of loose in time, so I really don't understand the passage of years, but I see it. I just don't be it. How about you, you see? We're not beasts of burden anymore. We have allowed ourselves to inhabit such a place. You can't imagine some of the remembrances I've had of some of the states humanity before this dispensation, as tough as it's been, have been through. But all of them, the Cro-Magnon, the Pale Horse, the whatever, they all pale by comparison to now. That's why it's a pale horse of love that we ride on now. And how? Because what's happening here and now is liberation for all of humanity, given in a very coyote way. But it's just allowing itself to come out and play, that's all. And that's what's here today, right now, inside of you and me too. Because now we see how, you know, the cruelty recreated the earth by empowering the spirit realm to more greatly regenerate the 3D and bring it back to its heart, the Divine Mother heart, held there eternally, even as you explore out and become creation again, quite naturally. You see, we're all one tribe. We're all one nation united, and that goes between the realms. It's not just here in the 3D. The tribe is huge. As you well know, because many have passed through humanity, you know. Of course, a lot of that is repetitious behavior. You know, some of us can't help it. We like salt and pepper and soda water and, you know, the mysteries of life given in that caveman sort of way. It's kind of fun to come down here and play. You know, and so, you know, the rest of us just get out of the way and be okay with that, all right? We honor and appreciate every element we've lived in, because they all live in us now. And how? I mean, you know, this is how we move beyond this world, you know, in our tribalism, our unity of heart with all of humanity. And only you as a person can realize that. It's not something that can be given to you by the broadcast media, not even here. You as a person, it's a personal experience. Each person is integral here. Whether you're on this side of the realm or that side as we see it in the moment of time of a few moments ago. It ain't like that no more, man. These realms are uniting. There is no division anyway. That's the illusion. You will experience kind of like a waking up. That's what's going on right now. To see how it really be. That's why I share these wealthy tales with you, man. You know, just trying to catch on. See how it really be. that the darkest of beings can still be of service to humanity in a loving sort of way. And in fact are, I hate to say it, but the redeemers of this reality. Because when we got them to a feeling place where they began to feel their motion in motion. In other words, let's take this JP dude way back there 80 years ago, for example, that off the buddy that had other dreams in an offhanded sort of way, just meaner than shit. I mean, as callous can be, wanted to expand from there into a great evil empire all across the earth, and, pretty much accomplished all that by just eliminating the competition. That each one of those becomes a weight on your heart, whether you know it or not. Until that day, that moment of now, where these souls are liberated to reapproach you in the visible realm of this reality and embrace you as their killer and love you for it and show you then the reality of what's been going on behind the scenes. It's the Koyote medicine in every way. See, when you empower the spirit reality to be life, to be more conscious in creation, you start taking that creation back into yourself, where it resides quite naturally, you see. So then, instead of being like a contrary thing, the opposition in creation dissolves away and neat things happen, like UFOs show up over missile silos and neutralize the warheads and show the dummies how backwards their technology is by frying the circuits. There was a time back about, I think it was about 63, maybe it was before that, I don't remember, but somewhere back in that time, there was a time they actually wanted to launch those missiles, and somebody pushed the button somewhere, and they started to go off. But something reversed time. And the missiles rose just a couple of feet out of the silos and then settled right back down, inert as all get out. The engines didn't go off. The button was never pushed. And everything was cool. And time went past that moment, and it didn't happen. And why do you suppose something like that would occur here? Other than it's just a divine miracle, of course. But the reason being, we empowered the spirit heart of this reality. Rejecting the brilliant genius of innocence, we empowered that innocence to be and to come forward in many different manifest forms and take care of the inequity in this reality. The vision of it, the perversion of it, the mass corruption. Hell, I don't think it's ever been any worse than it is now. It's probably been as bad before, because we've sure done some shit in this reality. You won't believe what you see on the dynamic screen of life as you begin to remember all this shit. See, because it's built right into us. Each and every one of us has the story of life, all life, of humanity and Earth, who is our original planet. Don't listen to these people say, we have lived others, yes. Humanity is spread across the universe. Lives in many different realms and dimensions, of course, and we interchange between those existences in this one, but this is the core one. You see, as soul presences, we bounce around a lot. We're experiential beings. We like to test ourselves to the max, push it to the limit, because there ain't no limit. We just love it, and our love can only expand and grow, and that's our truth as an individual person in this vast sea of humanity spread across the firmament of this oceanic Mother Earth. The blue star, baby. You start to see what that really means, the blue star. It's the Mama Earth coming back to life. She shines like the sun. That's why the sun is blue in the center. That's the earthly part of him. You see, I mean, now, yeah, you can take that as a metaphor, but it's a reality to watch and see as it dissolves into you. See, the sun is bringing itself back here in little pieces. That's what all these waves, solar waves, are about. Part of the illusion, but it's a way to bring that energy into humanity. And no matter what they put in the skies, and they can't block it or contain it. Its energy is pure. It's not restricted by the material reality. So in reality, it just flows like right through us. It doesn't affect us other than we receive that enlightened state. We become brighter and brighter inside. The body begins to conform with the light of the sun. and becomes more natural feeling and natural flowing, to where you can experience the campfires of love once again dancing in the flame of life, the flame of love, and become one with the fire that burns in all, transforms everything, brings us back to the flying thunder beams that we are, because that's our presence. And that's who these wicked dudes have been often all this time, is divine angels of the highest caliber. But understand, these were like at least cousins to them in the universal sense, because it takes a real strong, bright, brilliant heart to hold a dark place, and to live that callously, and to surround itself with, reptilian-like energy, so it gets all scaly and can't be touched, and lives in the darkness for so long. I mean, that takes tremendous strength. By rights, it could have become the black hole that destroyed not only humanity, but everything. Took it all back to ground zero. Then we'd have to start out again. By rights, that we were willing to take that chance stepping in here. We could see that in our future. We knew that could happen. But we knew we were more clever than that. We knew we had Coyote medicine. Now was the time to put it to the test and see how it works. We were innocent in it, and we still are. But now we understand it a whole lot better than we ever did before. And that's liberation for every heart on this planet, without exception. When you feel the love of the ancestors with you, and then you see who the ancestors are, and you receive of them, do you think you're going to stay hateful? Not for a moment. When you see yourself relieved of all the burden, let's say you're one of those terrible people that just kills, because anybody gets in the way is fair game. Let's say you're one of those people and you've burdened yourself with that depth of darkness, Imagine the liberation you feel when these very beings, these very soul presences, you oppose strongly enough to eliminate from the reality, come back to you and say, hey, we didn't go anywhere, baby. We've been working behind the scenes all the time, right along with you, brother. Embraces this dude, and then the revelation is seen that all of this so-called technology was an amassing of the energies of creation. It was brilliant in its performance, how it was brought together. This was one of the grandest deceptions ever performed in reality, ever. And one of the most beautiful truths to come out of it. The fulfillment of the divine dream of a liberated humanity, each being squeaky clean and happy as a camper at a Girl Scout camp, and you're a Boy Scout, baby. Or the other way around, however you see it. Understand my meaning here? We're liberated. We don't serve in any form of unusual slavery. When I say unusual, I mean there is a slavery to the flow of love. It's not slavery at all. It's liberation. It's being your presence in the divine harmony, and therefore you get to experience it all as your person, because you fulfilled your presence in it. That's the gift we share today with all of humanity in this humble little way, through this tiny little internet and a station called the Hazy Radio Network, and the soul presence of Grandpa Coyote, a scraggly old fart if ever there was one, who's finding a heart, who's finally coming back to life in a real sort of way. And it takes some doing, man, because I've been a hateful old coot too in my own way. Much love and light as I could share. There was also the darker side of me, the darker aspect. I was really pissed off at this world for being so stupid and wanted to just kill it. That was part of me, man. I had to honor that. I had to let go of that beast of burden. I had to let go of that judgment and understand the poetic role of it, the rock and roll. God, it took some real seasoning for me to catch on. But because I did and do and I am, well, then you am too, baby. See, it flows on through. This is how we unleash the burdens. We let go of the perceptions that have held such heavy judgment on our own breathing heart for the suffering we've had to endure, if nothing else. We really did feel greatly sorry for ourselves, for all the misery and suffering we put ourselves through. We really did. We felt awful about it. We loaded ourselves down so heavy nobody thought we'd ever get out. The whole universe was rolling its eyes, looking at us. saying, my God, what a bunch of losers. We turn loose down there. We may have to kill all of them, etc. But we surprised the bastards, and we surprised all of them, man. We surprise them right now in the most inconsequential sort of ways. Liberation comes flowing into place through just a few humble hearts scattered across this gracious earth of ours. And there's a arousal of all the others because a few can hold it. Let it go, in other words. Be done with it. Honor it, bless it, be done with it. And get on with the program of the family reunion. Party's on at our place, Mama says, as she takes us once again to her chest and holds us and reminds us of our origins, the baby-like love that we've grown from, the beautiful, resonating beings, personal empires of creation, each one of us. Liberated to be that now, to see that now. No longer restricted in this earth reality in any freaking way. We're free to play it as we'll play it. Because we realize now that basic essential core of it in the heart we created. Heavy load relieving itself here. We got on with a little more rock and roll here on that Coyote Medicine Show with Grandpa Coyote, your host. The heart of love and motion. Don't give up the ghost. Embrace that mother trucker. Let's get it on with the family. What do you say, babe? I thought so. We're ready, man. Believe it or not. We're finally at that point. I didn't think we'd ever fucking get there, did you? Liberation lives, baby. And here's how we do it. Let's show them, baby, how it's done. Just continue to glow.
If you believe in forever.